To Mayor Walsh, Boston Chief Resilience Officer Dr. Atyia Martin, and everyone here today, it is an honor to join you for this incredibly important moment. Today, we are recognizing the work many have been committed to for years and taking a major step forward in the serious and urgent work of advancing racial equity. By doing so, Boston can truly develop meaningful urban resilience and strengthen and enrich itself as a city. My name is Otis Rolley, and I'm the Regional Director for North America and Africa for 100 Resilient Cities, pioneered by the Rockefeller Foundation. We, as an organization, are committed to urban resilience, the global movement of urban resilience, and we have 100 cities throughout the globe that we partner with. I am really excited today to be in one of my favorite cities, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here, Boston. So when we talk about urban resilience, it's very important for all of you to have a shared understanding of what we are talking about. So for us, urban resilience is the capacity of individuals, institutions, community, systems to survive, adapt, and thrive, regardless of the stresses and shocks that that city may come upon and have to deal with. It is very important that you understand when we define urban resilience, it's not just about that survival part, not just about recovery when those shocks and stresses happen, but it's about survival, adaptation, and growth and thriving despite those shocks and stresses. 100 Resilient Cities and the Rockefeller Foundation is committed to the city of Boston, and our commitment shows itself through a number of investments in terms of our partnership here. We don't see this as charity work. It is a true partnership toward advancing urban resilience. We bring four things. We invest in your Chief Resilience Officer. And let me tell you, you have the gold standard of Chief Resilience Officers. Dr. Martin is an example not just here in North America, but throughout the globe in terms of what it takes to really have a comprehensive and holistic view of resilience, understanding and facing head-on the challenges that are present in institutional and structural racism, understanding that social cohesion has to occur for you to have true resilience. Mr. Mayor, you chose wisely. And it is an indication in terms of how strong you are as a leader when you know how to pick other leaders to be part of your team. So thank you. So we invest in your Chief Resilience Officer. We also invest in the adoption and creation of your urban resilience plan, your strategy. Right? So each city, all 100 of our cities are going through a similar process to pull together a resilience strategy. And you are in the midst of doing that exciting work. And this spring, you will be releasing your resilience strategy, which really looks at not just the planning in the traditional sense, right? It's not just drafted by politicians and urban planners, though some of my best friends are politicians and urban planners, right? But an understanding of a game plan towards initiatives and actions that are really moving the city in the right direction. We want to make sure that that strategy lays out a course of action and how you're going to invest your time, your energy, and your human resources, and doing it in a frame that looks at race and equity. So as you're making your transportation investments, as you're building housing, as you're thinking about your schools, as you're looking at climate change, all these different components, doing it through a racial and social equity lens, it is pioneering. And is part of the reason why we're so excited about the work here in Boston. I think given the current state of the national dialogue and the shock, there are shocks and stresses that face cities and nations, the shock of 11/9, and the cities and the city and the mayor's commitment for racial equity, we felt it necessary to be part of this conversation today, and we thank you for the opportunity to be part of it. We also recognize that though the resilience strategy will not be coming out until the spring, it was so important that we begin to share some of the work that has been done to date. And the blueprint document that is being released today that lays out some of the framework and the principles around racial and social equity that is going to really guide the resilience strategy. Racism may seem to some as an issue that exists in relative isolation from the rest of the city's problems. It does not. It lies at the root of an effort to achieve true urban resilience in the city and elsewhere. I spent 2 years of my life in Boston, and it was a little challenging. At times, I felt as if it might not necessarily be a place that was embracing someone who was melanin blessed. And so when I took this position and had the opportunity to work in the city, I was so proud. I was so proud of this city's commitment, of 100 Resilient Cities and the Rockefeller Foundation's commitment, your commitment, not just in terms of from City Hall, but from the various neighborhoods, the work that has happened to date, your commitment towards really pushing past some of what has happened in the past to really look towards a stronger, more resilient future. Boston has a rich history in terms of revolution, and I think the Boston Tea Party really kind of sparked some of the revolution of this nation, and I think some of what is happening and has happened in terms of these conversations, what is going to be happening next month and next year as you face these issues head on, that's revolutionary, that is resilience, and we are so happy to be part of this conversation. Thank you so much.
So as we think about how we move forward as a city, as we think about the opportunities for us to work together to help build resilience, to strengthen racial equity, to make sure that we're confronting racism, that we do it together.